Hello internet citizens and welcome to JavaScript training by Flipbell IT Studio. Now let's quickly work on two main topics of JavaScript, that is myFunction and .getElementId. Now JavaScript revolves around these two things, and JavaScript is mainly used to replace HTML or to make it something functioning by default, or like keep it running on again and again, or let it be an action button or something like that. So let's quickly work on these two things, that are myFunction and .getElementId. Now let me just open my brackets and the preview of it. Now let's work onto an HTML2 a bit. So let me just initiate a paragraph and let me just simply give a heading that this is a 7th chapter, and then let me just start working on one of the best part of HTML, that is button, to make it functioning. So let me just put a button in HTML. So let's say button on click. Now on click is something which will be working. Make sure it is not in capital letter, it is all case sensitive right here. Now in double quotes we are gonna use myFunction. Now this is the main part, that is myFunction. We are gonna define the function later, not at this moment of time. So we're gonna keep it null, and let me just end it right here. So let's give a name to this button and let's just say as hit me. And if we save it, then you can see that here is a button which says hit me. Now the important part is that I've given the function right here. This is so important in JavaScript. Every time you're gonna give a function, so that you can give a call in JavaScript by this main function. So let's just start our script, and in script we're gonna give a call, but we're forgetting one thing. We haven't given an ID so that we can give a call. So this time we're gonna change a paragraph. So we'll be giving an ID to paragraph so that we can work it by calling it in JavaScript. So let's give demo as its ID of paragraph. Now let's initiate writing JavaScript. So as I've told you, the main part, that is function, you're gonna write every time like this in JavaScript, that function and myFunction. Now I'm just calling function according to JavaScript with it, and then I'm calling myFunction on click button by this, and it's null. So we are gonna work here in myFunction now. So you're gonna initiate it with braces, and let me just write our first variable text one, which says, let me just give you a greeting like hello, and make sure you're gonna add strings. So it should be in double quotes and end it with semicolon, and let me just give another string so that you can get an idea of how you can just add a string to. And let me just change the text this time right here. Let me just simply write here as internet citizens. Now the main part, we are gonna add both of these strings. So for that we are simply gonna write as variable text 3. Let's just change it to 2. I've forgotten to change it. And equals. Now we're gonna add both of them so that we can show them together. So we are simply gonna write text1 plus text2 and end it with semicolon. Now the main part starts, the main JavaScript function to make it running, to get it into the action. So we are simply gonna write it as document dot get element ID. Now you might be thinking that it is so complicated that G is small and then E, B and I are in capital. Now here's a concept behind this, that this is called the Camel Case, which means that first letter is gonna be small and rest are gonna be in capital letters in JavaScript. So this is not that complicated, and after that you're gonna simply call what I have given the ID to paragraph. So that was demo, and I'm gonna write that same thing right here. And then I'm gonna write inner HTML, because it's gonna change our HTML and gonna show up something equals to text3. Now text3 is something that we are gonna call here because we have added variable text3. Now here's a small error. I'm gonna write here as equals to. Now it's good to go. Now text 3 is something that I'm gonna call, which is a simple greeting which says hello internet citizens, and that's it. If I click on save and then if we click on hit me, then you can see that it is written here as hello internet citizens. Now that's how you bring JavaScript into the action. Now also we are going to work on it in all kinds of operators. We are going to just make JavaScript into the action just like this button in all the operators that you will be reading from the next section. Now you need to remember these two things in JavaScript. You should learn this in syntax. It's gonna stay same forever, like my function, then you're gonna call my function to null, and then finally you're gonna get the document.get element ID, and then you're gonna simply say in an HTML equals to text 3. It could be like anything into alert script, or it could be anything. So that is the main use of JavaScript. It brings the hidden part of HTML into the action if you hit on button or alert, or maybe by default. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching.